Everybody, how are you guys doing? Have y'all heard about the missionary man who was supposed to go back to Africa? He went back to Liberia in specific to do some missionary work, and he ended up getting one of the girls pregnant, and then he lured this girl to a creek and then tried to kill her. Yep, he got her pregnant and then gave her some sort of shot to make her miscarriage, and I guess that wasn't enough for him. He went back and tried to complete the job and kill her. Yup, kill her. Let me tell you guys the story, okay? Now, this man, his name is Lucas Richard, and the girl that he tried to kill, her name is Jessica Lloyd. Now, the mom was speaking about it. I'm going to start, you guys, so you listen to the mom, and I definitely will be translating. I know it's been a minute since I've, done stories like this, and I be in and out. I try to mix it with the celebrity topics and stuff. However, this story just caught my eye. Why? Because one, I'm Liberian. Two, it is just such an interesting story. This quietly, have literally got worldwide coverage, but it's a white male, and I think that, in my opinion, they're protecting him. In my opinion, especially to the masses, they don't really see a lot of quality in black and brown people and African people in general, but this man took advantage of this girl in a very sensitive situation, in my opinion. But I'll give you guys my opinion at the end of the video. I'm gonna put the mom on, and I'm gonna basically translate what the mom is saying for the people that are having a hard time understanding.
Well, Scott, this is a pretty complicated situation. At KCCI started getting tips and emails last week regarding a missionary that's affiliated with Creekside Church in Urbandale. Now, he faces some violent accusations in Liberia. Creekside Church first posted this message to Facebook last week about Lucas Richard, a missionary from Louisiana, who the church says it has supported for many years. Now, in the post, the church wrote that Richard was attacked and robbed in Liberia and then requested prayers for him. But on social media, many people have a different interpretation, many of them accusing Richard of slitting a woman's throat. Several media outlets in Liberia are reporting Richard has been charged to try and kill a woman named Jessica Lloyd. Now, late this afternoon, Creekside Church pastor Steve Smith shared another update. The church acknowledged its original post came off to the Liberian community as insensitive to the victim. The church wrote, quote, "Prayer is our first priority when confronted with a situation such as this. The church is sensitive to Jessica, who also accuses Lucas Richards of perpetrating the act. Now, for her sake and in light of our relationship with the Richards, it is always our obligation to seek the truth," unquote. Now, Creekside wrote that they trust the legal system in Liberia to find the truth and render justice. Now, KCCI has confirmed this is also on the radar of the U.S. Department of State, which told us they're aware of the arrest of an American citizen in Liberia. The State Department declined to comment further. Now, the church tonight says Richard is no longer representing Creekside or will receive their support. Some local Liberians are planning to hold a gathering outside their church Sunday morning to continue to keep this story alive.
Situation happened with an American guy.
She says a situation happened with the American guy,
Lucas Richard, a missionary in Cape Mount.
Lucas Richard, a missionary in Kipmunk.
And my children on the dorm.
She says, and my children on the dorm.
YWMS.
YWMS.
And where my children is, two of them.
That's where my children are, two of them.
So he went there to go teach. He saw my daughter and fell in love with her.
So he went there to go teach. He saw my daughter and fell in love with her.
He said he wanted to marry this girl.
He said he wanted to marry this girl.
So he went. She told me she engaged me on it. I said, okay, if you love him, no problem.
She said that her daughter had told her everything about them and gave her all the information. And she said, well, if you love him, she doesn't see any problem.
I said, Mama, you got a wife. So I said, then why now? Why you want to say you want to marry you a wife? No.
She said that her daughter told her that he had a wife. So she said, well, why does he want to marry you then if he has a wife? Does his wife know?
He said he told his wife agreed to go, hey, he wants second wife because the woman he marries the older woman.
She said that he told her that he told his wife, and his wife knew everything. However, his wife is an older woman, so he wants a second wife.
So I said, oh, okay, if you love me then, y'all can come over, when he bring you to see the family.
She said, well, if he loves you, then let him come over and meet the family. Let him bring you, and you all come and meet the family.
So she said, okay. So later on, after 1 week, two of them came.
She said, okay, no problem. So she said after about 1 week, both of them came to meet the family.
Now knew you are hiding it from the people on the mission and hiding it from your wife. And now knew you lied to us and you told your wife.
She said, not knowing he was hiding it from the people on the mission and not knowing he was hiding it from his wife. You know, he lied to us. He told us that his wife knew. However, his wife never knew.
So later on, the key to the house visited us. The other few family members that were there, we talked.
So she goes back to telling the story. She says, you know, when he came to the house, he visited us. He met with a few of the other family members that were there. You know, we talked.
He said, oh, I want to do a tradition. So I said, okay, he did a tradition. After the tradition,
now she's explaining what they talked about. She's saying that, hey, he said that he wanted to do a tradition, basically a traditional wedding. And then, you know, they talked about that. And she was like, yeah, so they had the traditional wedding. And then after the traditional wedding,
after the tradition, took picture and he said, oh, I want to go and come back to go to the court for all to get our document. I said, okay.
She said that they took pictures at the traditional wedding and everything. And he said that he wanted to go and go to the U.S. And come back. He said that he wanted to go to get the documents and everything ready. So I'm assuming that she probably thought that, hey, he was going to get documents ready so that, you know, her daughter can come to the States, to come to America. So I think that she was under that impression, hey, my daughter is going to get an opportunity to come to America. And that's probably what he has to go do. And basically, that's what he told her.
She said, but I want to be in sin because I'm a Christian. I'm paying the dowry first. I said, okay.
She says that he told her that the reason why he paid the dowry, basically, like, you know what a dowry is, right? If you all don't know, it's basically a certain amount of money that, you know, that transitions from the person who is marrying, like the male who's, you know, wanting to marry the woman, and he gives that to the parents, you know, paid as a contract, like a financial contract, you know, for their daughter. However, he was saying that the reason why he was paying her the money, you know, the dowry for, you know, her daughter is basically because he wanted to do it in the right way, because he's a Christian, you know, he don't want to do it in the wrong way.
So I go look, the children, they carry them up for outreach. So later on, the last day they went out in Cape Mount to an area.
She said that the children were being carried for outreach. And the last place that they went was in Cape Mount, and that's his area.
So they were there. The house she comes to Mama, it looked like I'm pregnant. So I said, okay, when you come to town, then we'll go to the hospital to go check it up.
She said as they were there, her daughter called her and told her, hey, Mom, I think I'm pregnant. It looks like I'm pregnant. And she was like, oh, wow. Okay, well, wait until you come into town. And then you and I are going to go and look.
So I said, you told Lucas? She said, yes. Lucas happy about it.
She said that she asked her daughter, did you tell Lucas? And her daughter was like, yes, I did. And he's happy about it.
So went to the hospital. She came to town after the program. They came to town.
She said that they went to the hospital after their program. You know, when the program was all done, they came into town and then they all went to the hospital.
When they went back on the mission, they went back on the mission. They said, Lucas, Jessica will not march because they got the information like Jessica and Lucas going on.
She said that, you know, when they went back on the mission, they basically told her that her daughter was not going to be able to graduate, you know, to, you know, march down with her you know, the entire class and everything. They weren't going to allow her. And she was like, the reason why they're not going to allow her is because they found out that Jessica and Lucas was, you know, they were dating. They were in a relationship. So they basically told, you know, Jessica that, hey, you're not going to graduate with the class because you're dating the professor. So that's not going to work out.
So she told me, so I said, I thought Lucas, the people on the mission know about it. But anyway.
She said her daughter told her, but she was like, oh my God, Lucas, you know, the people on the mission didn't know that you and Jessica was going out.
She said, Mama, come for me. She said, I'm marching. So I said, okay, I'll come for you.
She said her daughter told her mom, can you just come for me since I'm not going to, you know, graduate with the class? I'm not going to be able to, you know, march with my class. She was like, yeah, I'll come for you. That's fine.
They said, hey, my brother know about it. My brother will not march until the end of 2 weeks.
She said that the people at the mission, the school basically, said that, hey, not only are you not going to be able to graduate and march down with your class, your brother's not going to be able to either, because he knew about it and he didn't say anything. So, both of you guys are not going to be able to graduate unless, until after 2 weeks. I guess something's supposed to happen in 2 weeks. They were like placed on suspension. Maybe they'll be able to come back to the school and then they could potentially graduate, but they're not going to be able to do it, as they once thought they would have, because of what's going on.
I said, okay, you come on. So I went for a sister that even said you were sleeping on the mission. So my ATM myself went for her, we brought her in the keke, we went for charter keke, went for her.
Now, side note, a keke is like a motorcycle. So basically she said that, hey, she and her sister went and they, to get the kids. Basically her brother was like, no, he's going to stay. He's going to, sleep there. However, Jessica went home with their mom. They was on the motorcycle and that's how they, traveled from the mission, for her to go home with her mother.
Okay. After 2 weeks in Cape Mount, he visited us.
She said when they came home after about 2 weeks, he came from Cape Mount, where his location where he was at, and they, he visited them and he basically, came to see them.
He said, I will find an apartment with everything in there before going to the States.
When he came, he told them, I want to find you all an apartment with everything in it before, finding my way back to the States.
So I said to find an apartment, it will be hard for now. So what I would do, that should be with me. So in our own place, you can go and come, or you come back, or you can send the money. Then we can find a place.
She said she told him, just go ahead and go to the United States, go to the States, because right now it's going to be hard to find an apartment. Maybe when you go to the States, you can send us some money and then we'll be able to get an apartment. Or maybe when you come back, then, we'll figure out what to do. But, right now, since we have our own place, we're going to be fine. Don't worry.
He came that evening when he came, they went inside. Now they gave a
She said he came that night, and when they came, they went inside, not knowing, at the time, the girl, basically her daughter, Jessica, was pregnant, and he gave her, speaking on the shot, like gave her a shot, to basically remove the pregnancy.
Get a guy back to hospital. Went to the hospital and said she confirmed that she was pregnant.
She says that they went to the hospital and the records are actually at ELWA. And when they went to the hospital, when they, she first found out that she was pregnant, everything was confirmed, basically through the hospital that she was indeed pregnant before all of this.
So they gave her medicine and tea. They say, they did her ultrasound. They say, yeah, that true, the better there. They did her ultrasound. They say, yeah, she's pregnant for true. The better was there, but it's moving. So they probably said move.
I think what she's trying to say is that, they took her to the hospital the first time when they found out she was pregnant. Then they took her back to that same hospital and they confirmed that the pregnancy had not been, there anymore. And that, the pregnancy is completely gone.
Then we went. Now we need our intention. We needed to do it.
She said he went and he did that night, not knowing this entire time that was his intention. Like he meant to do it. He wanted to do it.
He gave her the injection in the vein. So that night, I called her back. I said, Lucas gave Jessica injection, but he said, her last week, and she bleeding. So he said, you sure you do an intention on it? I said, I don't want to believe that. Because the way he can behave, like he's so lawful.
She said that he gave her the injection, basically the shot in her veins, and that's what he wanted to do, and that's what he did. And she was like, well, I contacted Jessica's dad and I told him about all of this, and he was like, wow, do you really feel like Lucas, meant to do it? And she said, well, I don't want to believe that he did it or he was meaning to do so, because I just can't imagine that he would do something like that, because I want to believe that he loves her, because every time we see him or he's around her, he just acts like he's just so much in love with her. So I can't believe, or I can't bring myself to believe that he would do something like that to my daughter, or he meant to do something. I think that she tried to let her mind believe that something else happened. She didn't want to believe that about him, because he displayed himself as a God-fearing man. He displayed himself as, just somebody that was close to Christ. So he just basically convinced them and had them fooled that he was something else.
take it, cherishing the family. So I go low. Today, after a few times, because they are coming to the king today.
She said that she didn't want to believe anything bad about him because he was so in love with her daughter and basically cherished and took care of the family, that she didn't want to believe anything bad that he was capable of, or bring herself to accept the reality that this man, basically is hurting her child. She just could not see it. She just didn't want to see it, and he just displayed like this good image, so she just couldn't see it. And she said that he ended up coming to town that day.
I was just telling you, I saw the car. He said they want to share in their apartment. They may be asking him to take you on the airport. So you come today.
She said he actually was supposed to come, tomorrow, but he said that the man, that he is basically staying with, the man in the house is basically, in the apartment with him, is basically telling him like, hurry up, I have to take you to the the airport. I have to take you to the airport. So he decided that he was going to come that day instead of the following day that he was supposed to come. And that's what the mom's saying.
He postponed the trip today. So after she came, I want to know, she said, oh man, look at taxi one and all. We say coming. So Lucas King was saying that in front of the horse. He came, he went inside. Jessica came outside to the car too, and then went inside. When they went inside the talk, Jessica got in the car. Inside the horse. Got in the car. He said, oh, our father was having entertainment plan. This was never happen.
She said that he ended up postponing, his America trip for the following day. So when he came, Jessica met him at the car, and basically they were talking, and then they went in the house, and then he came outside, and he basically told her mom, because of the miscarriage and her losing the baby and everything, I just kind of want to take her to like an entertainment place. Maybe we could like watch TV or, take some sort of entertainment place that he was saying that he wanted to take, Jessica. So basically to make her feel good, especially since he's leaving the following day and she just had the miscarriage, and so the mom was like, okay, and she agreed.
Mommy, I'm very sorry for what happened. I know when I said, well, I'm sorry. I think that he feels so bad. I said, no problem, because it's like, God will let it be done.
She said that Lucas told her, I'm so sorry, Mom, that all of this happened. I'm so sorry. I know it was a lot that you all went through. And the mom was like, it's not a problem. If it's God's will, let, whatever God wants to happen, let it be done. If it's God's will, let it be done, basically. And she said that he was acting like he was just so sad and, so sorry that all of this happened.
So he went inside to her. When they feel talking, two of them got in the car. When they got in the car, they left. As soon as they left, I said, I go back. I went to church. And the church closed on me. I tied my lap out. Under the transfer in Josephine. I went to church. After service,
she said after he spoke to her and said what he said to her, he went back in the house, and Jessica came out the house, and they got in the car and they left. And after they left, she got dressed for church, and got on the motorbike, because that's what they used to get from point A to point B. She got on the bike, and basically she went to church as well, and she says she still has the church clothes on her, went to church and everything. And then after church,
well, while I was coming back, because I when they almost said no. Long time today, that short time. The person who had been so after we finish praying, I pay my offering and thing.
Which means no long service.
No long service. Yes.
She confirmed that Sunday church didn't last long. They just prayed, basically, had benediction. She paid her offering, but then, it was over in no time. So the church service wasn't lasting long that specific Sunday.
So while I was on my way coming back, and I very now when the better move, I was rushing to the hot cleaning. That's the time.
She said, while I was on my way coming back, and then she's like, but, also, reflecting upon the time that she had the miscarriage, she said, hey, when she had the miscarriage and I was taking her to ELWA hospital, that's the time.
Before I came to I came to one clinic at night. We had to patient shop. They said they want to take on to the TSC. I said, no, let me call hospital first. But I couldn't get him. I couldn't get him.
She said before I took her to ELWA, hospital, I had took her to another hospital near patient shop. And they were saying that they wanted to do a DNC. But she said, no, let me call her husband and see if he's okay. Basically, let me call, Lucas and see if he's okay with this. But when they were calling Lucas, for whatever reason, he wasn't answering his phone call. And he wasn't being able to, the phone call wasn't able to get through.
Later on, I started testing, Jessica testing, say, oh, I'm bleeding this and like acting like so feeling bad.
Okay.
Yes.
And then she says basically, and then later on he want to call and, just act like he's just feeling so bad and just texting Jessica like he's just so hurt and he just feels so bad.
So I came on the back coming for service. Then I saw the car, they left me for almost 30 minutes or 45 minutes. I saw the car passing by me to Giant Market. So I said, but when Jessica and Lucas going out, maybe they're in the estate area going fast so I to sit down. So I went home. I said, in front of the house. My auntie was cooking for my brother.
She said that she was on her way coming back and basically the car passed by her that, her daughter and Lucas was in, but she didn't think nothing of it. She said, maybe, they're going on the other side of town basically to sit down and, do something there. But she didn't think anything of it. She basically was like, she felt like it was odd because of the car just moving so fast, but she didn't think anything of it. She was like, she just went home. And when she got home, she had her aunt at the house cooking, I guess for her a relative, a brother. So that's what was happening at the house.
He said, you want to food, so she was cooking. So I said, AC, I saw Lucas and Jessica in a car just about there. AC said, but I wasn't left there. Why are you going to one outside?
The aunt that was cooking, I guess her name is AC. So she basically says, hey, I just, I saw Jessica Lucas and I saw their car. And she was like, well, what are they doing on that side of town? Because like, didn't they just leave? Why I wonder why their car was basically at that, side of town.
So in less than 30 minutes, I saw Keke coming in the yard with blood. My daughter was blood up. The first thing I went to my mom, I thought an accident.
She said in less than 30 minutes, she saw her daughter coming into the yard on a motorcycle. That's what the keke is, a motorcycle. And she said the first thing that came to her mind was an accident. And she said, oh my God, she thought that an accident happened.
I said, what happened? She said, y'all shouldn't tell my mom. She an asthma patient. Y'all put her down.
So she said that she was like, what happened? And she said that Jessica told them, don't tell my mom, please, because my mom is an asthma patient. Basically, she has asthma. Y'all just wait till she calms down first.
I said, what happened? The first time I told my son-in-law.
She said the first thing she said was, where's my son-in-law? Where is he?
The children said the can't about son-in-law. Son-in-law was cutting her daughter's throat.
She said the boys on the motorcycle was like, son-in-law, your son-in-law was trying to cut your daughter's throat before you're sitting over here worrying about son-in-law.
Carry her in the bush, hit her from the back, you are cutting her throat.
They said he carried her in the bush, hit her from the back, and was trying to cut her throat.
That one boy was passing, one keke boy, hitting, I don't know, motorbike boy, keke boy, hitting was turning from the back. She
said that they told her that one of the guys that were on the motorcycle saw him cutting the girl's throat, aka her daughter, saw him cutting her daughter's throat and hit him from the back. She said because her daughter was unconscious, and that's how, the boy on the motorcycle hit him from the back.
The people start coming around, joining the car. The speed, they say the small speed.
She said that people gathered to see what was going on, and they said that he got in the car and the speed that he started going on, it wasn't a small speed. It was like he was really speeding.
People went on the traditional wedding. I get a picture and thing. In my daughter's phone, he said somebody on a mission to see my daughter's phone because of the short.
She said that she has a picture of the traditional wedding that happened, the traditional wedding, and that it's all in her daughter's phone. But Lucas basically sent somebody to the school to steal her daughter's phone in order to hide evidence.
I went for the government to step in because how they can kill people and then they say the government killing people. The American man all he killing in the country. They are going to kill my daughter just way. They say not just a I just pray because the position my daughter on now. I just pray that God accept me and you be myself. She at JFK hospital, they get her to her right now as I'm speaking to you.
She says that she wants the government to step in. She wants the government to do something and help out because, different people, especially Americans, are coming into Liberia to basically kill the people here or take advantage of the people here in Liberia. And she says she's just blessed that, when they did all of this or this man, cut her daughter's throat. He didn't hit the vocal cords or anything, but she's saying that she really wants America to step in because, you know, this entire situation isn't right and she wants something to be done. And that her daughter, you know, when she did this video at that time, had just gotten to the hospital. So she's currently, you know, at ELWA Junction at the hospital over there. And she's basically saying that she wants, you know, something to be done. Now, I want to go to the next person. The next person was the guys on the motorcycle. I would like to, you know, for us to break down their story. The last person that I'm going to, you know, have speak, I just think that it's only right that he be the last one to speak. The last person, it's going to be, you know, Richard Lucas, or Lucas Richard. It's going to be him. He's going to be the last one that I'm going to have speak. Okay, so let's hear what happened from the guys in a motorcycle.
My mommy sent me to go sew her dress for revival.
He said that his mom sent him to sew her dress for the revival. And that's why, you know, how he encountered this entire situation. That's what he was doing.
On my way, I saw the women put the girl down from the car.
He said on his way, he saw the white man put the girl down and out of the car.
Or you take the gas can, beating on him with it. Before I ran and threw the girl in the grass, slaughtering her.
He said that the white man took the gas can and was beating her head with it. And before he got there, he saw that he had threw her in the grass and was slaughtering her.
Slaughtering the girl. I tried to go to him on your tribune and I drove her.
He said he saw him slaughtering the girl, but he ran over there. When he ran over there, he was trying to get close, but the guy turned around and was trying to like stab him with the knife. And when he saw him trying to stab him with the knife, he dressed like backed up, you know, he backed up, dressed back. He backed up, you know, in fear of basically being stabbed by that knife.
When I pushed him, the girl dropped.
He said when I pushed him, the girl dropped.
When he get in the car, started getting when the girl going for the car, he hit the girl with the car.
He said that he got in the car to leave, to run off. However, the girl got up and got in front of the car, and then he hit the girl with the car.
The girl falling, I'm going always again, the blood flying.
He said the girl fell down because he had already was slaughtering the girl. And when he say slaughter, what he means is like by him cutting her throat, you know. So basically she was already bleeding from her throat where he tried to like cut open. So she was already bleeding. So the blood was flashing everywhere when she fell down.
So I ran to the girl, I she lay on my chest.
He said he ran to the girl and he held her and she laid on his chest.
People were around and couldn't talk, they couldn't do anything. I the girl put again and the police and carry again. And me say they get me carry again to the hospital, but I won't be behind him. He
said that he took her and put her with the motorcycle guys and basically said that, hey, they should hold her or like run her off to, you know, the hospital, and then he was going to run behind them and follow the car, you know, the motorcycle car, but the motorcycle, not the car, but you know what I mean? Follow behind, you know, just to make sure she was okay.
I left running behind. He ran over no road. There's no in Kimba, in Tessie, what we saw with or Tuala with them.
He said instead of following the girl, he chased behind the, you know, the white man, the Lucas Richard, chased behind him and chased him so far that, you know, he kind of went off until there was like no real road, you know, like no cement road on the you know, for him to ride on basically. And he tried to go like the other way, you know, all these different streets, but he was, you know, basically traveling from one place to the next, trying to escape. Somehow there was a mob that, you know, followed him as well. And the mob, you know, got around his car and started like busting his windows and just basically, you know, wreaking havoc on his car, you know, because they were upset. They felt as though something went on because everybody kind of saw after, you know, they had that brief connection that something happened to the girl and they knew something that like he was responsible for something. So the crowd was upset and they was, you know, basically breaking his car down.
Nobody was touching in the process trying to present him and saving to undergrad because they were so the tasty raw Sonny will start beating me away all on my phone, on my face, I'm a woman. I afraid how to go political work control undergrad. So I took the women from there. I carried to to Zimbabwe police station.
He said while the white man was being hit, he jumped in front of it and said, hey, don't hit him. We have to get him to the police station. And then the people in the crowd got upset with him, saying, why are you stopping us from hitting him and beating him up because he did something to that girl? So they started hitting him. The crowd basically switched and took out all their anger out on him and was hitting him with sticks and stuff. And, the police got involved and the police started holding the crowd down. And when the police was holding the crowd down, he was able to get the white man and take him to the police station.
And when they take off from Zimbabwe police station, they carry up Broadview. They take off from Broadview police station beyond St. John. We were there.
He's basically saying they took him from one police station to the next police station to the next police station to the next police station, that he had to basically go over a bunch of different crowds trying to get this man to the, correct police station that he was supposed to be at.
I met my brother Ernest running, shouting, Dixville, on back. Say, help me in the process, help me in the process, help me in the process.
He said he met his brother, struggling through the crowd on a bike, screaming, saying, help me through the process, help me through the process, help me through the process.
The white man just come from slaughtering a young lady.
This white man just came from slaughtering a young lady.
You keep shouting. So myself, I just, all of, no move, I just go on back straight, running with him. Running tail to tail with the white man himself who riding the Land Cruiser. In the process, when you notice that Ernest on the far left side, on the right side, running tail to tail with him, he took the animal from the car. He just threw it away. It came straight on my face.
He said when he noticed that his brother was asking for help, he followed his brother, and both of them was chasing the white man in the car. He was on one side, his brother was on the other side. His brother, the other guy, basically whose name is Ernest, was on the other side. And he said that, while they were going, the white man threw something out of the car and it hit him in the head. And it basically slashed his face. If you see on, I believe that is the left side or child, depending on where you're looking, right? I believe it is the left side. And he has that mark. He's saying that the white man threw something and that's how he got the mark.
Directly on my face, Dixville. I had lost strength, everything. I felt on his kept burning behind him, on his brain behind him. They went upper core where he turned the car around, thinking that you're going to go to the police station. Luckily for me, another motorcycle is king.
He said Ernest kept on running. Ernest kept on running behind him. And then unluckily for him, another motorcyclist came because he was hit. So he didn't have any more strength to continue riding the motorcycle. After he got hit, he was, trying to gather himself together. But Ernest kept on going. And later on while Ernest was going, another motorcyclist came.
He helped me in the process. That way going for junction, but my car was junction. There where they caught him. Started busting the car, angry car came inside the house, luckily for me, police people came and carried me, they took me to...
So since then, have you taken treatment?
Not at all. You see it, I think you see the evidence. Not at all. We've been to Central, the police people telling us that we should go take our own treatment, and we come back, we can talk on case, all that thing. In fact, they prioritizing the white man. They're killing the white man more than us.
He said that, the white man was able to run, go really, really far until he was stopped. That he was actually stopped by the mob, like a mob of people in the street started like basically breaking the car down, busting windows and such. He said that, he was lucky kind of just because, people were able to take him and try to get him to like medical care. However, he was taken out of the medical care because the police wanted to ask him some questions. And at that moment, even then, he hasn't necessarily been treated for his wounds. He said that, in fact, they are prioritizing interviewing the white man just for media's sake and prioritizing, the care of the white man over his care. And he feels as though I feel as though he and his friend was the hero who basically chased this guy, and kept on going with it, and they're not being cared for. Nobody's not trying to hear their story. Nobody's trying to hear, what happened with them and what went on with them for this white man to be caught.
Who started from the Genesis?
Yeah.
The security, the weapon went up. Why should that girl be like this? Why?
He said nobody's asking about them, what they went through, and they're the ones that are hurt. They're the ones that, chased for this white man to be caught. They're the ones that kept on going when they really didn't have any support, and nobody's looking after them and making sure that their well-being is okay or none of that. They're prioritizing this white man, and basically the media frenzy that, came and followed behind this entire situation versus finding out, the people who made sure that this young lady was safe. Why are they not making sure that they're okay? That's basically what he's saying. And I completely agree, and I completely understand his frustrations, and I get where he's coming from, because I would be upset too. I want to go to the next person, which is the young lady who all of this, happened to. She said what he wanted to do first is just throw me in the water. The hood boys in that neighborhood, basically, they saw a white man and, they just wanted money.
So he said he missed the road, so they directed him to play. But the chain was behind us, so he couldn't do anything.
He said that he missed the road, so they had directed him, and was trying to help him find the road, but they were, just still behind us, so he really couldn't do anything.
But first of all, we get out from the car, he took out the knife, big knife.
She said first thing before we could even get out of the car, he took out a knife, a big knife.
He said, I fed a snake, so in case one see snake, then we'll kill it.
She said that he told her, I brought this knife because, I'm afraid of snakes. So if we see any snake, any big snake, we'll kill it. She said she laughed it off. She didn't think anything of it.
So get up in the car and put the knife in your pocket.
She said, so we got out of the car. And when we got out of the car, he put the knife in his pocket.
After we go to the riverside, people were playing there, so we couldn't do anything.
She said we went to the riverside, but the people were plenty. Like, they had a lot of people there, so he couldn't really do anything.
So they thought, so gonna push it up.
She said then later on we went into the bushes because he said he wanted to pee.
So he said he wanted to go pee. And I said, okay, let me hold the water bottle and go pee.
When he said he wanted to go pee, I told him, let me hold the water bottles so then you can go pee.
But after peeing, he see some animal in the bush.
She said right after he peed, he said that he seen some sort of animal in the bushes.
They put it never in his pocket. So when he said, oh, can't see her, I saw the animal, seeing something like animal in the abortion.
She said that he told her to come and see the animal. And she came a little bit, but she saw something, some sort of animal, and the eyes were shining. So she said, I'm scared too. So she said that she just stood behind him, and she didn't go in front of him.
Boys, they want to go closer and just want to give me right there. So I just stayed behind him. When he finished peeping here, I said, and wash your hands. Thank you. I'm going to listen it down. So I said, yeah, wash your hands. After I finished, I'm holding the bottle.
She said if I was going to go in front of him, he would have just killed me right there. But she said when he was done peeing, I told him, hey, I'm holding the bottle, so yeah, just wash your hands. And she was pouring the water on his hands. But then she said that he told her that, oh, thank you, but I was just going to use hand sanitizers. She was like, no, it's okay. Like, just wash your hands. I'm going to hold the bottle for you.
When you go somewhere, you can say, you don't pee again. Someone will push it. So he said, oh, stay behind me small. The small train will be passing around. I have to be behind, but not too close. So when he finished, I would look for the direction and play the car where go in the car.
She said when we walked in front and we went in front a little bit, he said he had to go to the bathroom again. And then, because the little kids normally come around in that area. So he wanted her to, stand like once again to hide where he was going to go pee so nobody would see him. And she said she stood behind him, but not too close. So he can go pee again. She said when he was done peeing this time, they walked towards, where the car was.
We came
to your pocket car.
Yes, when I want to show all the local staff by himself, if everybody place makes the direction. So that after that, we go in the car.
She was explaining how they ended up around the side or the side of the town that they were. He said that he had missed the directions, and that's how they ended up, where they ended up, around Waterside area.
And we went to the road that leading when you coming from when you come inside of the road on the other side, so that the road will keep back way. And then we go back again. Yeah, we go back again on the same road to patient shop with in the estate.
She was explaining we had came towards St. Michael's Way, and then we went the other way to where, near patient shop. So that's how we, where we basically were. We were on the other side. She's explaining, the locations and stuff, just so a person that is a native that, would understand, the different roads and such, they would understand that, where their specific location was.
So all the crowded places, he passed by the place. I said, oh, but we left one player, I said, I thought they tossed money, so all other places, the person who not preach and all that, telling me about the preach. But before then, we saw the cemetery. He said, oh, I don't know if you got last in that prayer or something. I am going to go to the cemetery to go see the grave, the name, the time the people die. I said, no, I won't go there. I said, no, I feel I won't go to see grave. So I was going from small. And then the bush go on up like they did. Nobody was there. Nobody said no answer. But this time, it's like the wall washing or everything on the Africa.
She said that, they were driving and they passed towards a place where it was crowded. There was a lot of people there. And she said, well, maybe we could just stop here and just sit down, and talk and then talk a little bit and then we go. And then he was like, no, he kept on driving. She said that she had saw the cemetery and he saw the cemetery. He was explaining, oh, this is the cemetery. This is where this person or that, just explaining what a cemetery is and asking her, should we go inside? We should definitely go see. It would be interesting to see, who died and what year they died and different things of that nature. She said, no, I do not want to go to the cemetery. I don't want to see a grave. I don't understand, why we would be going to the cemetery. No, I don't want to go. So they kept on driving. And when they were driving, they got towards the side where, there wasn't a lot of people. It was kind of bushes again. But there wasn't a lot of people there. And they, were stopping in that area. However, that boy, because when they went, they saw, a bunch of different boys when they first came. Those boys were still looking at them. They weren't far, but they were far enough. Those boys, everywhere they went, there were people there. So there were boys again, some boys just in the area, just watching and looking at her the entire time.
So park the car and said the car tire had problem. They wanted to fix it or to change it. And so okay, I was sitting in the car at first. So when he got down, and then he said, oh, just God, I think you need to help me. So he brought the other iron outside, then he be 10 minutes. Then he had the other take, no iron in him. So he said, just be 10 minutes, and then I can finish with the other side. I said, okay, I'm not thinking on anything. So as I was 10 minutes, he said, what dirt in your head? So he opened up in my head, opened it up. Felt like he was cleaning the dirt.
She said that, he said that there was a flat tire, that he had a flat tire. So he took stuff out to change the flat tire. There was some sort of thick, I think, for an iron thing that something thick that was heavy, thick, heavy, for, how when you get the tools to change the tire, the thing that you kind of keep turning and turning, that's what he gave her to keep turning. So she's down turning and he's like, well, keep turning that, and I'll just go on the other side and check out the other tires as you do that. So while she's doing that, she said that he said, oh, dirt, you got dirt in your hair, some sort of dirt. So he her hair was wrapped. She opened up her hair so he can, basically push the dirt out of her hair.
So he hit it. I yelled, whoo! So I felt like maybe the car tire burst, or the thing I was turning, the girl pouring inside it, I was jerking. I fell in the grass, started jerking.
She said she didn't know what it was at the time, but she heard a really loud noise, like a boom noise. And she didn't know what it was, but randomly she saw herself falling, like she fell into the grass. And when she fell into the grass, she started, like she was jumping, like scared, because she didn't know what happened or how she ended up falling in the grass.
I must sleep out there from my phone. When I woke up, he pushed me by on the ground. It's like right time.
He pushed you by.
Yeah. When I woke up, he pushed me by his voice. Like the boss on here was saying, hitting my neck, hitting my back. So when he pushed me by on the ground, it's like right time he did it left and then he was cutting in the ball. I was not feeling it.
She said that when she fell down, her slippers, removed from her feet, she fell down, but she tried to get up. And when she tried to get up, he pushed her back down every time she would try to get up. But there was like boys in the area. There was a boy who was kind of watching them, who, basically he seen them, and he was looking at them, and he seen that this man had pushed her down. And after he pushed her down, he took the knife and was like cutting her neck area. Like he cut her neck with the knife, but not deep enough. Like, he cut her, and she was like, for whatever reason, she was not feeling it. She said, I wasn't feeling it when he cut my neck. But then she revealed that, earlier she had took some medication.
He gave me medicine at first, but I took infection medicine or I think my stomach in the capsule I told him. Because I was pregnant almost 2 months and then he gave me injection in my vein. Also kind of medicine, so we should take it all together for it to stop the fermenting and the malaria. So it's better one. So I take the infection medicine to clean it, and then I said, oh, my stomach, it hurting. So he gave me some kind of medicine. He said, when I'm you sleep, just take it. So I took the medicine in the car before everything.
She said in the car she complained of having stomach issues, how her stomach was hurting. So he, gave her some sort of medicine to kind of, help her. And he said that it's not going to make you sleepy or anything. Just take it. It's going to help your stomach. But prior, she explained how she was pregnant. And then he gave her some sort of medicine that's not a medicine, but like a shot, in her vein. Like, how they put it in your hand, basically, when you get a shot. So that's what he did. And she said the purpose of him giving her that shot, he told her it would help, because she was pregnant. She was having a lot of, morning sickness, and, her stomach was hurting her, different things. So he was helping her out, gave her the shot in her hand. It was basically helping her because she felt as though he was helping her. So he gave her that shot, but that shot actually ended up, causing her to miscarriage. And the hospital gave her some sort of medicine to help, her stomach out, because she was still kind of going through the process, the whole miscarriage process and everything, to clean out her stomach, so they don't have any, back from the the pregnancy, anything left behind, when you lose a baby. And because it's like such a poor place, like Africa and such, it is a process there. She said that they gave her something to help her stomach out, so it could clean out her stomach. She doesn't have any remainings of the pregnancy, and she can be okay. And she told him that, and that's when he gave her the medication in the car to basically help her stomach as well, with the medicine that the people at the hospital was already giving her. It doesn't make any sense why this man would do that. Well, it does make sense because he's trying to kill her, right? So it makes sense why he would do that, but it's just crazy that she believed this. But when you don't have a lot of education and you don't know better, it's very easy to just believe anything. But let's get back to the story.
So when he hit my ear first, I was checking. So when he came over me, I felt like he won't hear me. So I said, alright, because I was still checking. I said, alright, just leave me. I stood up, he pushed me back on the ground. He pushed me and rolled me down small.
She said when she first tried to get up, when she was on the ground, she saw him standing on top of her, like over her, not like on top literally, but like standing up, his shadow. She saw him like just standing over her. She said that she felt like that he was trying to help her. Like it never entered in her mind that this person or this man that she was in a relationship with was trying to hurt her or harm her. She felt like that he was trying to help her get up. But she said that she told him, I'm okay. I'm trying to get up. She said she was still little jumpy because she didn't know where the noise had came from, but she was like telling him, letting him know, like, I'm gonna be okay, I'm okay, I'm gonna get up. But when she was trying to get up, he pushed her back down and kind of like pushed her so she could roll a little bit.
but the kind of chopping the leg. So it's like the boss on your house, so that's why you need to go deep. So the boy pick on the stick and fire, or the boy say, hey.
She said when he had pushed her, she was on the ground and she was kind of rolling a little bit. That's when he, like, you know, got on top of her and started, like, trying to, like, you know, slash her neck, you know, put the knife on her neck and was trying to slash her neck. But he didn't go deep because the boy was close by kind of watching when he was trying to really, like, get to it and, like, you know, cut her neck. He was like, hey, you know, he had a stick. The boy next, you know, that was close by had a stick and he was like, hey, you know, what are you doing?
So he just left me. I don't know how all the cotton tape play on my hand, but when he pushed me down at 14, you know, I'm not 14 to say, oh, give me, you know, for any harassment or anything. I'm just telling you, I'm already here.
She said when the boy intervened, that's when, you know, the guy just left her alone. She said, but she don't know, you know, what happened and how her hand is all cut up. You know, she don't know how that part happened. She said maybe because she, like, kept on telling him, you know, she was all right and, like, pushing her hand, like, hey, I'm okay, towards him, like, kind of, you know, she kind of maybe subconsciously felt something, and then was, like, pushing him kind of, like, away with her hand, you know, like, I'm okay. But she said that, you know, she wasn't, like, fighting him, like, oh, she felt like she was in danger. She said, honestly, she didn't know what was going on, you know. She had no idea what was truly happening at the time, but yeah, that's what took place.
So when you hear me first, I don't feel like the quarantine entered in because he said he was like checking what was going on. I think because I was checking, so he said he was checking.
She was saying that she felt like he was scared because when he was standing over her, he kept on jumping, and she was jumping too. So she felt like maybe he was jumping because she was jumping, but, you know, he was scared when he was basically trying to kill her. Now, that was her story of what happened. I'm going to play this man's story, basically him telling you what took place. And a lot of people, including myself, feel like everything that he's saying is a lie. We don't necessarily trust. He's given all these excuses saying that, hey, that he was not trying to hurt her or anything of that nature. And he's, like, saying how he was basically brutally attacked by these motorcyclists, you know, these guys that were standing by. But had it not been for them, this girl would have died, you know. So I'm going to have you all listen to what he has to say, and then I'm going to wrap it up with my perspective and my opinions on the whole situation. But yes.
Okay. The only thing I don't know the police officer's names involved, but you guys can figure that out. Okay. She asked me to help her with $150 US, okay, which I do monthly. I went there to her parents' house after I ran a few errands in town. I think you have some of my receipts over there. Okay. I go and I give her the $150. She gives it to her mom. Her brother was there too. She asked me for milk, cornflakes, and a few other things. And so the two of us went from right there. They live around something shop junction. And I carried her to Harbell supermarket. We bought cornflakes, we bought all of those things. And even if the receipts are gone right now, you can even ask Harbell, they can show you footage of us going in there together. Why would I be buying these things for someone who's going to hurt me? Then from there,
I would like to apologize for the noise in the background. I believe that they're currently in the jailhouse, in my opinion. And that's why the noise is like that. You know, Africa jail or Liberia jails is not necessarily like America jail. So they really didn't have a quiet place to really have this interview, you know. So I apologize. But he was basically saying that he took her to the supermarket and bought her a whole bunch of stuff. So why would he do that? You know, if it was a situation where he was going to harm her or she was going to hurt him, like, he wouldn't do that, you know, for somebody that he felt like he was going to harm, or somebody that, you know, he felt like would harm him. He's basically saying that could not have happened. He would not have bought her any of that if that was his plan to harm her.
We decided that I could drop her. I don't have to take her back to her parents, and that I could drop her there because at Bonneville Highway, she would get a motorbike and she would get back. So I pulled the car. The first area where there was like coal tar that you could pull off on the main coal tar. I pull off. I put my trafficators on. Because two things. She's getting a motorbike to go back home, and I needed to check my back right tire because I've been having a problem with that tire. And I could feel when I was driving that something was not correct. So while she was waiting for motorbike, standing on the coal tar, I'm down there literally trying to jack up.
This ties into her story, what she said basically happened. She said that, you know, the car tire had became flat, and he's saying he was down there trying to jack up the car, you know, basically, you know, get it started because the tire was flat.
My thing. After the supermarket, we drove for a small time to lecture. Then she said she would take motorbike to go home. Because, I mean, the cornflakes and everything fit inside plastic.
He's saying after they went to the supermarket, she basically had told him that, you know, she was going to take a motorbike and that he didn't have to drop her home, and that, you know, she was going to take a motorbike to get back home. And that was the decision that was made.
Yes.
Her parents knows you?
Yo.
Huh?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Because I asked their blessing, and when we were starting to have a relationship, we're going back to the story.
So the man asks him, he says, does the girl's parents know you? And this man is like, yeah, the parents know me because I asked for their blessing to basically, you know, be with their daughter.
She's standing on the side of the coal tar, and I'm standing there doing this with the jack thing. And next thing I know, a motorbike comes out of nowhere and hits her, and she goes into a ditch, because right after this coal tar is like a little extra coal tar on the side of the coal tar. Right after that is just a big ditch.
Okay.
This man is saying that, you know, she was standing there like on the side of the road while he was fixing. She was there while he was, you know, trying to get the car tire to work, you know, like with the jack and everything and trying to get it together, you know, working on it. And then randomly while they were there, a motorcycle just came and hit her and she fell into the ditch.
The motorbike hit her. She fell backwards and rolled into that ditch. I think she even fell backwards and hit the edge of the coal tar because she had blood coming. But she rolled backwards into that. At that point, I leave what I'm doing and I go to check on her and help her out and ask her if she's okay. I bring her up onto the coal tar. And at this point, this motorbike driver that just hit her is yelling out to other motorbikes, KK, whatever that's driving by, and this big lorry, big red truck that was carrying, I don't know, a dump out truck, something like that, telling them that I hurt the girl, that I did something to the girl.
This man is full of shit, okay? He basically said that, you know, after this happened, he had went to go check on the girl. So while he's over here checking on the girl, the motorcyclist who just hit the girl started calling his friends and was like, y'all come, this man hit her. This man did this to her and this man did that to her. And he's saying that he was there like, no, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. But the motorcyclist is the one who did it. And the friends came and was equally so mad and just upset with him, even though, you know, he wasn't the one that hit the girl. He never mentions the girl trying to get back up like she mentioned. He never mentioned like how, you know, it was a struggle. He never mentions giving the girl any medication. He never mentions any of this.
I don't know how they were saying, but they were yelling it out, screaming it out. And so they're stopping, and then all these motorbike guys are stopping, and they're vexed at me. I'm walking around the front to go get in the car. She was walking around the front with me. She goes around the front and she's coming to get in the car. Then something goes through the window and comes and hits me right here on the head. And when it hit me, I did like this on the steering wheel. And one of the guys took a big stick and started pounding. He came in front of the Land Cruiser and he started pounding on the thing. And so at this point, she's telling me to go. She would be okay as me then want because they think they're probably going to get money from me. I had $400 US.
So the girl who just fell down got up and was trying to get in the car right along with him. Now, both of them are rushing to the car. Like, they're scared now because the motorcyclists are all there. He never mentions the blood, anything. But he's saying that the girl was scared. So they were trying to get in the car. While in the car, I guess when somebody hit the window from the back and, hit something, and he, like, hit his head and, all of that. And the girl was like, just go. Because, they want money from you. They see a white man, so they want money from you. And he's like, well, I have $400, so I have to get gone. Yeah,
in my pocket. No, 350 because I gave her 150. I had $350 in my pocket right here and some small in my wallet right here.
He said that he had $400 and he gave her $150, and now he has $350, when in reality that's not true. Those math problems it's not right. It's not mathing. First of all, 400 minus 150 equals 250. So you would have 250 and you would not have $350. So, that was a off math problem, I guess.
It was becoming so bad, and the truck believed that I was doing something wrong, so he was wanting to stop me. She's telling me go, and everything that I've heard about motorbike drivers in Liberia is that if something happens, you will always run, especially if you're from outside, because they think they can get money from you.
This man is extremely manipulative. He said that everything he's heard as far as from America is that when you go to Liberia and you see motorcyclists on the street, just run, get as far away from them, because when they see you, they just assume that you have money, that, that they can get money from you. And that's what he's expressing here, saying that's why he ran. The girl told him to run. However, all the guys around felt as though something had happened and he did something. And so he was afraid, and that's why he ran. You didn't mention that you had a knife. You didn't mention that this girl, when she fell, she was trying to get up, and you kept on pushing her down. Like, he left deep parts of the story out. Why? Because it's convenient that you don't mention that, because you're trying to make yourself look like, somebody was harming you or you was in danger. When in actuality, this man was trying to kill this young lady because she got pregnant by him. You and her should have never even been sleeping together. That in itself is fishy.
So I hit the gas and I started going. I didn't hit nobody. I even hit, before I put it in gear, I did like this so that it backed up. And then I went. And of course the motorbikes were following me. And the motorbike that hit her already had his motorbike out of the something. All I remember is that it was a red motorbike with a license plate in front. That's all I remember about it.
So according to him, the motorcycle was following him when he ran off. He's saying that, everybody felt like he did something wrong and, he ran off, and all the motorcycles were following him and following behind him. He don't remember what motorcycle it was. He just knows it was a red motorcycle with something on the front, like a license plate or something on the front. And they were following behind him, and he feel like he did nothing wrong. He don't understand, why they were following him. And his only, opinion is they were doing this all because of money business. They felt as though that, he had money. So they were trying to follow him because they were trying to get money from him. So that's why they were, so consistent in their pursuit of him. That's his perspective, or what he's trying to make us believe, that, it was a situation where they want money so bad and they felt like, he had it. And that's why they were chasing him. Not that you hurt somebody, not that this girl's bleeding, not that, they helped this girl get to the hospital. Nothing about this is being mentioned. Just they wanting, to harm you because of money.
But when they started following me, and I didn't know where to do, the only thing I knew was go to the first police officer that I could see.
Okay.
So what is the relationship between this guy and you?
So I get to the first area where there's a police officer, and that police officer was so scared because he got hit with the same things they were jumping at me. They busted all my windows. You can look at that Land Cruiser. They busted all my windows.
I saw it.
They hit that police officer. He told me to keep going to the next police. But he was going to try to stop these people.
Okay.
But that didn't work. Finally, when I reached to the I don't remember the exact how you call that area, but that goes on to the Walla. The police officer came and said, said, let me drive. Sorry, I'm still bleeding from this.
Now, I was here for them asking him as far as, what's his relationship with her. However, he didn't answer. And he keeps talking about how, basically these people were savages and they try to get him and, they hurt him. He's still bleeding. He's this harmed white man. And, they were trying to harm him and do all these different things to him. He's never, ever mentioning what he did to this young lady, the attempted murder that he had, the attempted murder that he did. He's not mentioning none of this. He's just, these crazy guys, these motorcyclists, they harmed the police officers too, so they were afraid too. I just felt so unsafe. Like, nobody gives a damn about your white tears, especially not in Liberia. I'm just telling you, don't nobody care, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute.
We'll be telling you a little bit about them and ask you to pray for them later on in this video. In the meantime, we want to thank you for your prayers, your encouragement, your support throughout this trial that Lois and I have been facing. As many of you may know, Lois and I are both recovering from the coronavirus, and back in March, at the advice of our elders at Creekside and also CMML, we evacuated Liberia due to the impending coronavirus shutting down the borders, and ultimately because Lois was facing some health issues that we needed medical care here in the U.S. to address. And so again, we want to thank you guys for your prayers and support through this time. Now, you all sent us a request for a video and with 3 specific questions for us to answer, and I'd like to go ahead and address those questions. The first question was, what are the main activities of your ministry right now during this time of coronavirus? It's important to remember that the Indigenous Mission does have a core Indigenous team that we work with, and so being that Lois and I are not there, our team is continuing on the work in our village in Ta. The government has shut down the borders between counties in Liberia, and so our team is not able to travel county to county. However, all of our team is in our village right now on the mission and continuing on the ministry. The church that we work with, Tom Bible Church, is continuing to meet. Thankfully, the government did not force the church, especially in our village, to shut down. They are meeting with some social distancing guidelines in place, and the work of the local church, the ministry of the local church is continuing. Our school, Grace Christian Academy, was closed by government mandate due to the coronavirus. However, we've been told that we'll be able to reopen in the new school year, which should be in August or September. The closing of our school has been a little bit of a blessing in disguise, as we were in the process of doing some construction and renovation on the mission, including re-roofing the buildings. It's been helpful not to have 200 students on campus while we're doing a lot of different construction projects. But it's also been a blessing in another way. Recently, the translation of the Gola New Testament was completed after 50 years of work with different missionaries in conjunction with the Bible Society. And our construction and renovation projects are ongoing. We just recently completed a workshop, a woodworking shop, where we're going to teach vocational skills, as well as some offices for our staff. And there's much work that will be continuing. The second question was, what is the Lord teaching you lately through these unique circumstances? I'd like Lois to share about what the Lord has been teaching her through this.
Yes, and I would definitely say these have been unique circumstances that we've been experiencing the last few months. First with the miscarriage and leaving Liberia so quickly and flying back to the United States, not knowing which flights were going where and when, the final goal of reaching the United States, and then contracting COVID. And I would share that God has put on my heart just to rest in Him among all the unknowns, and also trust my husband in the many decisions he's had to make throughout the whole ordeal. And just to be reminded, God has reminded me over and over that He is near and that our lives are in His hands.
Amen. And I think personally for me, the Lord has been teaching me and reminding me to trust in His sovereignty through these things. God knew that coronavirus was coming, and we didn't. But I can look in hindsight and see how God was just systematically preparing us for the illness that Lois would be facing, our miscarriage and other things, the evacuation, being back in the U.S. during this time while our co-workers are stuck in the village. But throughout all of that, I just don't have time to share, but we have seen, even in the small details, how God was working and preparing. And that gives us assurance that He has a plan and a purpose through all of this. And we can trust, rest in, and hope in the sovereignty of God through all of this. It's been a reminder for, I think, both of us. We really thank God for His faithfulness through all of this.
Okay, now this is the part that I basically wrap everything up. That was him and his wife basically, speaking about the mission and all the stuff that they're doing in Liberia and all of that. We always hear stories like this, feed the starving children. There's a story about this white woman who basically rescued, a black boy, and he was basically starving. She, adopted him, and you see a picture of her basically feeding him water. And then, he's transitioned now. He's doing well in life and everything, and I just want to say that, people in Africa and people in Liberia are not looking for fake profit. A lot of, Caucasian people, a lot of people in general come to Liberia, and this is a place of poverty. And that's any African country. Not all of them are struggling, but a lot of African countries are struggling and they don't have food, and they take advantage of that, take advantage, try to use them. This man came into a mission. He was, set to help somebody out, to do good in the community, but he took that opportunity and fell for a Liberian girl, not even just a Liberian girl, a Liberian student at his, mission, where he was already married. He had already been married, ended up getting her pregnant, and he knew what that would mean. This mission has been going on for years. So for him to come down there and, do the work that he did and, acted the way that he did, it just, for me, I just felt as though that was crazy. It was insane. It was horrible. You come down there to do good work as a white man, and you took advantage of this Liberian girl. People in the States, people in America, the black people in America do not trust white people at all. Just because they will harm you. What we have been seeing is that, they would harm you. And then, all of a sudden they have all this sadness or outrage, and, it's the white tears. That's why they say things like, oh, this person is a Karen, trying to, force us to feel empathetic for them when they're the one that is like causing harm. This is common in the States, That's why a lot of black people or people of color do not trust, white people. And because of the history, the slavery history, the just us even coming to America, the process of that, and how, people were fooled and taken advantage of and everything. They, umbrella it under, we want to help, we want to do good. However, it's always bad. They'll take you, put you on the ship. The whole slavery concept, put you on a ship, and people didn't know that this was going to happen. A lot of the times, African people, black people are too trusting of, Caucasians, people who's come to, Africa, under the umbrella that I just want to help, and this is a proof of that situation. This man is completely lying. This man is more so concerned on the fact that he was stopped and he was harmed, or people were trying to basically go above and beyond to protect this black girl. And I'm honestly feeling as though he's not used to not being protected. But like the motorcyclist says, he's even being protected in this situation because different people are coming to speak with him, and he's being protected and such. The United States, or I don't know if everybody knows about it, or I know that America has said that, they heard about this and they were, disheveled about it, and they're going to let, the Liberia government do, their due diligence and, handle this situation. And I know that it is just insane. I don't know if he's an American citizen. If he is, do they plan on stepping in? Do they plan on doing something about this? My plan is to, give you guys awareness. I think this entire situation is crazy. This man took advantage of a young girl, she did not know better. She's in poverty. Her family do not have a better way. So maybe, a piece of it is that, hey, they felt like this man, he comes from wealth, and he comes from America, not even, the basic America, you have consistent meals, or you have, food on your table. Maybe he can help us. Maybe something he can do. Maybe if he sends you to America, you can, different things of that nature. Very careless, very trusting. And when you're in poverty, stricken situation, you don't feel as though like it could get any better, and somebody else offers you an opportunity. You don't know if it's a good opportunity. You don't know if it's a bad, but you feel like it can't get worse than what it already is. And I think that's what happened in this situation. I feel as though she should have thought better or like thought deeply about this. However, but I don't blame her because of the, environment and this, poverty and all of that. I think that any little bit, and he was kind of, giving mouse helps, what I'm saying? Giving breadcrumbing. He was giving a little bit of breadcrumb, basically acting as though he was going to do something or he was going to help out, giving her money here, helping her family this way, making it seem like he just loves her so much. And they just, did not know any better. But this man stepped into that situation and he took advantage of this Liberian girl. And I feel like something should be done about it. I feel like he should get I'm sorry, I don't know if that's something that's practiced, but he needs to get in severe trouble. Okay, I was gonna say the death penalty. I don't know if they do that, but he needs to get in severe trouble, because for me, I don't think that that's okay. It's the planning of it all for me. It's the back. You already took the baby out, so just stop messing with her or stop dealing with her. Are you afraid that it's gonna get out that you were doing this? You felt like the entire thing would just end if she dies. Like, the fact that that's your mindset. You're a Christian man, and you represent God. At least you're down there saying that you represent God. The image is that you represent God, but he is not a God-fearing man. And you felt like that was the first thing that you could do in that type of situation. I just think that this man is nasty. This whole situation is horrible, and I really feel bad. For this girl in Africa, and I feel bad for her family, and I feel bad that she has to go through all of this. I'm gonna keep hitting you guys with these Liberian stories, because first and foremost, I'm a Liberian girl and I'm African, so I'm always going to speak on these different stories and these different topics. I don't do it as much as I would like, just because they don't have a lot of information or a lot of stories that come out, but when I can, I definitely will. This entire situation is crazy, and this man is a horrible person. And African people, y'all need to stop trusting these evangelists or stop trusting these missionaries when they say they're coming to Africa to help out. Then they randomly get some sort of girlfriend and they're whole married and have whole families in America. It's all the lies. Stop trusting. Let people really show you who they are. Don't just trust their word. He lied to the missionary place and the church and told them nothing was going on. They didn't know that this was going on, and if they knew it was going on, they would have believed and told him that it was completely inappropriate for you to carry on in this way. So this entire situation is crazy. My heart goes out to everybody except, I don't want to say it, but except for that man who did all of this, because I feel like he definitely deserves to be punished for his crimes. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I love you all to pieces, and bye-bye.